Welcome to Quiet Hours. This is a quiet place to rest your mind, to soften the day, and to drift gently toward sleep. You don't need to do anything here. You don't need to fix anything. Just listening is enough. If it feels comfortable, allow your eyes to close. And if they don't, that's perfectly fine too. Take a slow breath in through the nose and let it fall away gently through the mouth. There's nowhere else you need to be, nothing you need to solve. Tonight's story is here to keep you company. As your body finds its own natural rhythm of rest, tonight's story is calm and unhurried, so settle in, soften your shoulders, and when you're ready, we'll begin. There is a forest not far from here, not far from anywhere really. A forest that exists in the quiet hours between waking and sleep, between the day that was and the rest that comes next. Some people call it the Lullaby Forest, not because anyone named it that, but because that's what it feels like the world is singing you towards sleep gently, without words. It's a place that appears when you need it most, when the day has been too long, when your mind has been too full, when rest feels like the only thing that matters. And somehow tonight you find yourself drawn to it, not by accident, not by chance, but by some quiet knowing inside you. The kind of knowing that doesn't need words, that doesn't need explanation, the kind that simply says, go, and so you do. Tonight, you find yourself walking toward this forest, not rushing, not searching, just walking. The path beneath your feet is soft, covered in moss, covered in fallen leaves that have turned gentle with time. Each step makes almost no sound, just the softest whisper of movement, just enough to remind you that you're here, that you're moving forward. Even if it's slow, you notice how your feet know where to go, how they find the softest parts of the path without you having to think about it. One step, then another, each one a little lighter than the last. The air around you is cool, not cold, just cool enough to feel refreshing against your skin. You feel it on your face, on your hands, moving gently past you as you walk. It carries with it the scent of evening, of earth settling into rest, of leaves and bark, and the promise of night. And the sky above is that particular shade of deep blue, the kind that appears just after sunset, when the light hasn't completely left, but night has already arrived. A few stars are beginning to appear, small points of light, distant and quiet. They don't demand your attention. They're just there, witnesses to your journey. The path curves gently ahead of you, and you follow it, not because you're trying to get somewhere, but because it feels good to walk, to move slowly through this gentle space between day and night. Your shoulders begin to relax as you walk. The tension you've been carrying all day starts to soften with each step. something releases. A little bit of worry, a small piece of the day's weight. You don't have to force it. It just happens naturally, the way breath leaves your body without effort. As you walk, you begin to notice the world around you more clearly. The way the grass along the path sways ever so slightly, even though there's barely any wind, as if it's breathing in and out in its own time. You notice the texture of the ground beneath your feet, how it shifts subtly with each step. Soft moss in some places, smooth earth in others, scattered leaves that cushion your weight. You notice how the light is changing, slowly, almost imperceptibly. The deep blue of the sky is darkening, just a shade. The stars are becoming a little brighter, a little more present, and ahead of you, in the distance, you can see the silhouette of trees, tall, still, their branches reaching upward against the darkening sky. The forest, waiting. You continue walking. There's no hurry in your steps, no destination you're racing toward, just this path. Just this moment, just this slow, steady movement forward. And as you walk, you notice your breathing, how it's slowed without you trying to slow it, how it's deepened. Each inhale drawing in the cool evening air, each exhale releasing the warmth of the day. In, out, slow, easy. Your body knows how to do this, how to breathe, how to walk, how to find rest. You don't have to think about it. You just let it happen. The path ahead of you is clear, not because there's a light showing you the way, but because the path itself seems to glow faintly, as if the moss covering it holds some quiet luminescence. Some gentle light that it gathered during the day, and now, as night arrives, it releases that light, slowly, just enough to guide you, just enough to show you where to place your feet. You follow it, one step at a time, and with each step, you feel yourself arriving more fully, not just moving toward the forest, but moving into this moment, into this quiet space, into this feeling of being held by something larger than yourself, the night, the path, the journey toward rest. The forest is closer now. You can see the individual trees more clearly, their trunks wide and ancient, their bark textured and weathered by time. And between the trees, you can see shadows, not frightening shadows, but the kind of darkness that feels restful, the kind that invites you to close your eyes, to let go, to rest. You take another step and another, and as you do, you realize something. The weight you've been carrying today, all the thoughts, all the worries, all the things you needed to do, they're still there, but they feel different now, lighter, as if the simple act of walking toward this forest, of moving through this gentle evening, has changed them somehow. They haven't disappeared, but they've softened, become less urgent, less demanding, and you realize that maybe they don't need your attention right now. Maybe they can wait. Maybe for tonight, all you need to do is walk and breathe and let yourself be led toward rest. Tonight, you find yourself walking toward this forest, not rushing, not searching, just walking. The path beneath your feet is soft, covered in moss, covered in fallen leaves that have turned gentle with time. Each step makes almost no sound, just the softest whisper of movement, just enough to remind you that you're here, that you're moving forward, even if it's slow. You notice how your feet know where to go, how they find the softest parts of the path without you having to think about it. One step, then another, each one a little lighter than the last. The air around you is cool, not cold, just cool enough to feel refreshing against your skin. You feel it on your face, on your hands, moving gently past you as you walk. It carries with it the scent of evening, of earth settling into rest, of leaves and bark, and the promise of night. And the sky above is that particular shade of deep blue, the kind that appears just after sunset, when the light hasn't completely left, but night has already arrived. A few stars are beginning to appear, small points of light, distant and quiet. They don't demand your attention, they're just there, witnesses to your journey. The path curves gently ahead of you, and you follow it, not because you're trying to get somewhere, but because it feels good to walk, to move slowly through this gentle space between day and night. Your shoulders begin to relax as you walk. The tension you've been carrying all day starts to soften. With each step, something releases, a little bit of worry, a small piece of the day's weight. You don't have to force it. It just happens naturally, the way breath leaves your body without effort. As you walk closer to the forest, you begin to notice something, a sound so faint at first that you're not entirely sure it's there. But as you take another step and then another, it becomes a little clearer. It's music, not music in the way you're used to hearing it. Not a song with verses and a chorus, but something softer, something that feels like it's coming from the trees themselves. A low hum, a gentle vibration in the air, like the forest is breathing. And in that breath, there is melody. You pause for a moment, just listening. The sound doesn't grow louder. It doesn't rush toward you. It simply exists, constant, patient, waiting for you to notice it, waiting for you to arrive. And now that you've heard it, you realize it's been there all along. You just needed to be close enough, still enough to feel it. You stand there for a moment longer at the edge of the forest, just listening to this quiet melody. And as you listen, you begin to understand something. This sound, this gentle hum, it's not trying to do anything. It's not trying to soothe you. It's not trying to put you to sleep. It's simply being what it is. The sound of the forest existing, the sound of trees breathing, of earth settling, of night arriving. And somehow that makes it even more comforting because it doesn't need you. It will continue whether you're here or not, and yet it welcomes you, not with eagerness, but with the quiet acceptance of the natural world. You take a breath in through your nose, drawing in the cool evening air. And as you breathe in, you notice that the air itself seems to carry the melody, as if the sound has become part of the atmosphere, part of the space between things. You exhale slowly through your mouth, and as you do, you feel your body relax a little more. Your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches. Small releases, but noticeable. You begin walking again, slowly, toward the forest, toward the sound, and with each step, the melody becomes a little clearer, not louder, but more present, more dimensional. You can begin to hear that it's not just one sound. It's layers, multiple tones woven together, some higher, some lower. All of them gentle, all of them moving at their own pace. And together they create something that feels complete, something that feels like it's been waiting for you. You reach the edge of the forest now. The trees stand tall and still, their branches reaching upward, their leaves moving ever so slightly in a breeze you can barely feel. The trunks are wide and old, covered in bark that looks silver in the fading light. You reach out and place your hand on the nearest tree, not to steady yourself, but just to feel, to connect. The bark is rough beneath your palm, textured, real, solid in a way that feels grounding. You can feel the life of the tree beneath your hand, not in any dramatic way, but as a quiet presence, a slow pulse, the rhythm of something that has stood here for years, decades, perhaps longer, and will continue to stand long after you've left. There's something deeply comforting about that, about touching something so permanent, so steady. It reminds you that not everything is urgent. Not everything needs to move quickly. Some things simply exist, slowly, steadily, rooted. You let your hand fall away from the tree, and between the trees there is space. Enough space to walk through easily. Enough space to feel held, but not enclosed. You take a step forward, across the threshold, into the forest. And the moment you do, the music becomes a little louder, still soft, still gentle, but clearer now, as if you've stepped through a doorway from one world into another. Not a different world entirely, but a quieter version of the one you left. A softer version, where the rules are different, where time moves differently, where rest is not just allowed, but invited, expected, natural. You reach the edge of the forest now. The trees stand tall and still, their branches reaching upward, their leaves moving ever so slightly in a breeze you can barely feel. The trunks are wide and old, covered in bark that looks silver in the fading light. And between the trees there is space, enough space to walk through easily. Enough space to feel held but not enclosed. You take a step forward, across the threshold, into the forest, and the moment you do, the music becomes a little louder, still soft, still gentle, but clearer now. The melody isn't coming from one place, it's coming from everywhere. From the trees, from the ground beneath your feet, from the air that moves between the leaves. It's as if the entire forest is part of one quiet song, a lullaby, not sung with voices, but felt. You can feel it in your chest, in the rise and fall of your breath. It's slow, unhurried, a rhythm that matches the gentle beat of your heart. You begin to walk deeper into the forest. The path continues beneath your feet, winding softly between the trees. There are no signs, no markers, but you don't need them because the path feels like it's guiding you, not toward anything in particular, just deeper into the quiet. The light here is softer still, a kind of twilight glow that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. It's enough to see by, enough to feel safe, but gentle enough that your eyes begin to relax, to soften. As you walk, you notice the details around you, the way the moss on the tree trunks glows faintly, as if it has absorbed the last light of day and is now releasing it slowly. You stop beside one tree and lean closer, looking at the moss. It's soft, almost velvety in appearance, small, intricate, a tiny world of its own. You could spend hours looking at it, noticing all the tiny variations, the different shades of green, the way it grows in patterns. But you don't need to study it. You just need to see it, to notice it, to let it remind you that beauty exists in small things, in quiet things, in things that don't demand attention. You continue walking slowly. The path winds to the right, and you follow it. As you walk, you notice the way the leaves overhead move in patterns, small circles, soft waves, like they're dancing to the melody you can feel all around you. Each leaf moving at its own pace, some faster, some slower, but all of them part of the same dance, the same rhythm. You look up for a moment. Through the canopy of leaves above, you can see fragments of the sky, still that deep blue, and the stars, more visible now, brighter. They twinkle, not dramatically, but gently. A slow pulse of light, on, off, like they're breathing too. You lower your gaze and continue walking, and the air smells like earth, like rain that fell a long time ago, like wood and moss and something sweet you can't quite name. It smells like rest, like the end of the day, like permission to let go. You breathe it in deeply, letting it fill your lungs completely. And as you exhale, you feel something else release. Another small piece of tension, another worry that's been living in your chest. It doesn't disappear completely, but it softens, becomes less solid, less real. The melody continues around you as you walk, and you're beginning to understand it now. It's not one sound, it's many. The deep hum you noticed first, that low resonant note, it's still there, constant, like a foundation, like the earth itself humming. And above that, there are other sounds, the rustling of leaves, so soft, soft you can barely hear it. The creak of branches moving slowly in the breeze, the sound of your own footsteps, gentle on the moss-covered path. Even your breathing has become part of the melody, in, out, a rhythm that matches the forest's own rhythm. And all of these sounds together, they create something larger, something that feels alive. Not in a conscious way, but alive nonetheless, present, real. You walk for what feels like a long time, but time here is different. It doesn't rush, it doesn't pull at you. It simply unfolds, slowly, naturally, like the way a flower opens, or the way night arrives, gradually, without force. And you realize that you're not tired of walking. Your legs don't ache, your feet don't hurt, because this isn't the kind of walking that demands effort. This is the kind of walking that feels like rest, like meditation, each step taking you deeper, not into the forest necessarily, but deeper into yourself, into the quiet spaces inside you that have been buried under noise, under busyness, under all the things you thought you needed to do. The trees around you vary in size. Some are massive, old beyond measure, their trunks so wide you couldn't wrap your arms around them if you tried. Others are smaller, younger, still growing, but all of them are part of this forest. All of them contribute to the melody, to the feeling of peace that exists here. You reach out as you walk, letting your fingers brush against the bark of passing trees, feeling the texture, the roughness, the life. Each tree different, each one unique, but all of them here, together, creating this space, this sanctuary, this place of rest. You continue walking, and as you do, the melody shifts. It doesn't change completely. It's still the same gentle hum, the same soft rhythm. But now there are layers to it. Layers you're only beginning to notice. Underneath the main sound, you can hear something else, a lower tone, a deep, resonant note that feels like it's coming from the earth itself. It vibrates gently through the ground, through your feet, through your legs, grounding you, reminding you that you're here, that you're held. And so, you stop walking for a moment just to feel this deep vibration. It's not loud. In fact, if you weren't paying attention, you might not notice it at all. But once you feel it, it's unmistakable. A presence, a foundation, like the heartbeat of the earth, slow, steady, eternal. You stand there, feeling it pulse through you, through the soles of your feet, up through your ankles, your calves, your knees, all the way up into your core. And somehow, this deep vibration makes you feel more solid, more present, more here, as if it's reminding your body where it is, on the earth, held, supported, safe. After a moment, you begin walking again, and as you do, you notice another layer above the deep hum, above the main melody. There's a higher sound, lighter, like the wind moving through the smallest branches, through the thinnest leaves. It flutters, it rises and falls, but never too high, never too loud. just enough to add texture, to add softness, like the sound of breathing or the rustle of fabric or the whisper of something you can't quite hear but can feel. You realize now that this melody, this forest song, it's not something that was composed. It's not something anyone created deliberately. It's simply what happens when the forest exists, when the trees breathe, when the earth hums, when the wind moves through the leaves, when all of these things happen together. This is the result. This gentle, layered, ever-present melody, and you're part of it now. Your footsteps, your breathing, your presence, all of it adding to the song, not disrupting it, not changing it, but becoming part of it, contributing to it in your own small way. The path curves again, this time to the left. You follow it without thinking. Your body knows where to go. Your feet find the way. And as you walk, you let yourself sink deeper into the melody, into the feeling of being held by sound, by vibration, by presence. It's not something you can explain, not something that makes logical sense, but you can feel it, the way the sound wraps around you, not like a blanket, but like the air itself, like you're breathing it in and it's breathing you out. A constant exchange, a gentle rhythm, one that has no beginning and no end, just continuation, just existence, just being. The path curves gently to the left. You follow it without thinking, and as you round the curve, you see something up ahead, a clearing, small and circular, surrounded by trees on all sides. In the center of the clearing is a large, flat stone, smooth, weathered by time, and on that stone the light seems to gather, not bright, just a little more present than anywhere else in the forest. You walk toward it slowly. As you approach the clearing, you notice the change. The temperature shifts slightly. It's warmer here, just by a degree or two, as if the clearing has been holding the warmth of the day, keeping it safe, offering it to anyone who arrives. The melody here is different too, still the same song, but richer, fuller, as if all the sounds you've been hearing on your walk, all the layers of the forest's music, they converge here in this space, in this clearing, creating something that feels complete. You slow your steps as you get closer, not because you're afraid, but because this space feels sacred somehow, not in a religious way, but in the way that certain places feel set apart, designated for rest, for reflection, for letting go. You reach the edge of the clearing and you stop. When you reach the clearing, you stop. You stand at the edge for a moment, just breathing, just listening. The melody here is fuller. All the layers are clearer. The deep hum from the earth, the gentle middle tone from the trees, the light, fluttering sound from above, they all weave together, and together they create something that feels complete, something that feels like it was always here, waiting, not for you specifically, but for anyone who needed to rest. You take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, you feel your body settle even more. Your weight shifts slightly, grounding into your feet, into the earth beneath you. You notice the temperature here, slightly warmer than the path you walked, as if the clearing holds the last warmth of the day. You notice the quiet, not silence, but a quality of quiet that feels alive, like the space between notes in a song, essential, part of the music itself. You stand here a little longer, allowing yourself to arrive fully, not just your body, but all of you. The parts that rushed today, the parts that worried, the parts that carried tension, all of you here now in this clearing, and the forest welcomes you, not with fanfare, but with presence, simply by being exactly what it is. You look around the clearing, taking in the details. The grass beneath your feet is soft, not manicured, not artificial, but naturally soft, as if it's been worn gentle by time, by seasons passing, by countless moments of rest. Between the blades of grass, you can see small flowers, tiny, so small you might not notice them unless you were looking. Some are white, some are pale purple. They don't bloom dramatically. They simply exist quietly, adding to the beauty of this place without demanding attention. Around the perimeter of the clearing, the trees stand like guardians, not protective in a vigilant way, but present witnesses. They've been here longer than you can imagine, and they'll be here long after you leave. There's something deeply comforting about that, about being in a place that exists outside of your own time, that has its own rhythm, its own story, and you're just a small part of it, a brief visitor, but welcome nonetheless. In the center of the clearing, the stone waits, large enough to sit on comfortably, low enough to reach easily. Its surface is smooth, not polished, but worn smooth by time, by weather, by the patient work of seasons. The stone is dark gray, with small flecks of lighter color scattered throughout, like stars in a night sky, or like the stars above you now. And on its surface, you can see the faint patterns left by rain, by wind, by all the years it has been here, a record of time, of existence, of persistence. You feel drawn to it, not pulled, not compelled, but gently invited, the way you might be invited to sit beside someone who doesn't need to say a word, who simply offers a space next to them and waits patiently for you to choose. You step into the clearing. The ground beneath your feet is covered in soft grass, and scattered across the grass are small patches of moss. They cushion your steps. You walk toward the stone in the center, each step slow, intentional, not because you're hesitant, but because rushing would feel wrong here. This space asks for slowness, for presence, for attention to each moment, so you give it that. You walk across the grass, feeling how soft it is beneath your feet, feeling how it seems to welcome your weight, to support you. You walk past the small flowers, being careful not to step on them, not because they're fragile, but because they deserve to be here too, to exist in their own space, their own way. And when you reach the stone, you pause. You place your hand on the surface. It's smooth, cool to the touch, but not cold. Just cool enough to feel grounding, to feel real. You run your palm across the surface, feeling the texture, the slight variations, the places where the stone is perfectly smooth, and the places where tiny imperfections remain, small ridges, small indentations, a history written in stone. You walk around to the front of the stone, where the surface is flattest, where it seems most inviting, and you sit down on the stone, not because you have to, but because it feels like the right thing to do. And as you sit, you notice how perfectly the stone supports you. It's just the right height, just the right shape, as if it was made for this, for holding someone, for offering rest. You place your hands in your lap or by your sides, wherever they feel comfortable, and you let your shoulders drop. You let the weight of the day fall away, one breath at a time. You feel the stone beneath you, the way it holds you without effort, solid, steady, and beneath the stone you can feel the earth, deep and vast, supporting everything, the trees, the clearing, the stone, you, all of it held by something larger, something older than memory. And it doesn't ask anything of you. It doesn't need you to be different, to be better, to be anything other than what you are. Right now, right here, a person resting on a stone in a clearing, in a forest that sings. And that's enough, more than enough. You sit there for a moment, just being, just existing, and you realize something. This is rest, not sleep, not yet, but rest. The kind of rest that comes before sleep, the kind that your body has been asking for, that your mind has been needing, the kind that can't be forced, can't be scheduled, can only be found in moments like this, in places like this. You close your eyes, not because you're tired. Well, maybe you are, but that's not why you close them. You close them because it feels natural, because the gentle light of the clearing, the soft glow that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere, it's so soothing that your eyes just want to rest, to soften, to let go of the work of seeing. And so you do. You close your eyes, and immediately everything shifts. With your eyes closed, you can hear the melody more clearly, all the layers, the deep hum from the earth, the gentle middle tone from the trees, the light flutter from above. They weave together in a way that feels almost tangible, as if you could reach out and touch the sound, as if it has texture, weight, presence. And in this darkness, behind your closed eyes, in this inner space, the melody seems to grow, to expand, to fill not just the clearing around you, but the space inside you as well. You breathe slowly in through the nose, drawing the cool evening air deep into your lungs, and out through the mouth, releasing the warmth of your body, the warmth of the day. And with each breath, you feel yourself sinking deeper, not into the stone, though you do feel heavier, more grounded, but deeper into this moment, into this experience of rest. Your jaw relaxes completely. The muscles in your face soften. The small muscles around your eyes, the ones you didn't even know were tense, they let go. Your forehead smooths. The line between your eyebrows, the one that appears when you worry, when you think too hard, it disappears. Your neck releases just a little. Your head becomes heavier, supported by your spine, but softer somehow, less held, more at ease. Your shoulders drop even further. You didn't realize they were still carrying tension, but they were, and now they're not. They simply rest, hanging naturally from your body, not pulled up, not held back, just existing, doing nothing but being shoulders. Your arms are heavy, your hands are heavy. They rest in your lap or by your sides. And they don't need to do anything. They don't need to hold or grasp or work. They can just be. Your chest expands with each breath, slowly, fully, and contracts naturally, without effort, like a gentle tide, coming in, going out. Your heartbeat is slow, steady. You can feel it if you pay attention. A gentle pulse, a quiet rhythm, the sound of life continuing without you having to do anything, without you having to try. Your body knows how to do this, how to breathe, how to pump blood, how to rest. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to manage it. You can just let it happen. Your back settles against itself, whatever you're leaning against or not leaning against. Your spine finds its natural curve, supported, at ease. Your hips sink into the stone, your weight fully resting, fully given over to the support beneath you. You're not holding yourself up anymore. Not trying to maintain any particular position, you're just allowing yourself to be held by the stone, by the earth beneath it, by the gravity that keeps you grounded. Your legs are heavy, your thighs, your knees, your calves, all of it relaxed, all of it at rest. Your feet still on the ground, still connected to the earth, but soft now. No tension, no effort, just contact, just connection. And as your body continues to relax, as each part of you softens into rest, you begin to notice something else, the boundary between you and the clearing, between your body and the space around you. It starts to feel less distinct, less solid, not in a frightening way, but in a way that feels natural, as if you're becoming part of the clearing, and the clearing is becoming part of you. The melody that surrounds you, the deep hum, the gentle middle tone, the light flutter. It's not just around you anymore, it's in you, moving through you, vibrating in your chest, in your bones, in the spaces between your thoughts. You're not separate from this place. You're part of it, woven into its rhythm, into its song, and that feels right. That feels like coming home. The melody continues around you, soft and steady. You realize now that it's not just music, it's a presence, The forest is alive in a way that feels gentle, in a way that feels like it's breathing with you. Inhale. The sound rises slightly. Exhale. The sound softens. It matches you, or maybe you're matching it. It doesn't really matter. Mai na. You close your eyes, or maybe they're already closed. You're not entirely sure, and that's okay, because here in this clearing, in this forest, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're here, that you're resting. Time feels different here. It doesn't rush forward the way it usually does. It doesn't pull at you. It just exists quietly. You could sit here for 5 minutes or 50, and it would feel the same, because time in the Lullaby Forest doesn't demand anything from you. It simply allows you to be. The melody begins to shift again, not in a jarring way, not in a way that startles you, but gradually. So gradually, you might not even notice at first. The deep hum from the earth stays steady, always there, always grounding, but the middle tone begins to soften even more. It spreads out, it fills the space around you, becoming less like a distinct sound and more like an atmosphere, a quality of the air itself, and the higher sound, the fluttering one, begins to slow. The notes come further apart, each one lingering a little longer before the next one arrives, creating more space, more silence, more room for rest. You breathe with it, in through the nose, a slow, gentle breath, and out through the mouth, letting the air fall away without effort. And as you breathe, you feel your body begin to relax even more. Your jaw unclenches, your forehead smooths, the small muscles around your eyes soften, your neck releases just a little, just enough. Your hands become heavy, your arms become heavy, your legs sink into the support beneath them, and it feels good to let go, to allow your body to be heavy, to stop holding yourself up with invisible effort. You take another breath, in and out, and with each exhale, something releases. A thought you were holding, a tension you forgot you were carrying. It doesn't all go at once, and that's okay, because here in this clearing, there's time, all the time you need. You don't have to rush your rest. You breathe again, slowly. The melody around you continues, and your breath becomes part of it, part of the rhythm. Inhale, the sound rises. Exhale, the sound settles. You're not just listening to the forest anymore. You're part of it, breathing with it, resting with it, being held by it. The forest around you is still, not silent, but still. The trees don't move, the leaves don't rustle, but the melody continues, soft and low, like a heartbeat, like the rhythm of waves on a distant shore, so faint now, so gentle, that you wonder if it's still there, or if it's just the memory of sound, the echo of melody living in the space between silence and music. You realize that you don't have to do anything here. You don't have to think about tomorrow. You don't have to solve anything. You don't have to be anything other than what you are right now. A person resting in a clearing, in a forest that sings. And even that description, even those words, they're fading too, becoming less important, less real, because you're moving beyond words now, beyond labels, beyond the need to name or understand. You're just being, just existing in this moment, in this space, in this gentle darkness behind your closed eyes. The light around you begins to dim slightly, not into darkness, but into a deeper softness, the kind of light that makes it easier to close your eyes, the kind of light that invites sleep. And the melody continues. It wraps around you, not like a blanket, but like the air itself. You're surrounded by it, held by it, breathing it in, breathing it out, no longer separate from it, but part of it. Completely, you feel the stone beneath you, solid, supportive, and the ground beneath the stone, the earth, all the way down. You're grounded here. You're safe here. Nothing can harm you in this place. Nothing can disturb you. This clearing, this forest, this moment, they exist outside of the world you know, outside of worry, outside of rush, outside of everything except rest. The melody begins to fade, not disappearing, but softening, becoming quieter, more distant. The deep hum remains, always present, always steady, but the other layers begin to drift into the background, quieter, gentler, like they're giving you permission to let go, like they're releasing you from even the gentle attention of listening. You don't have to hear anymore. You don't have to notice. You can just drift, just float, just be carried by the current of rest toward sleep. Your breathing slows, deeper now. Each inhale is slow and easy. Each exhale releases a little more tension, a little more of the day, in, out, slower, softer, until you're barely aware of breathing at all, until it becomes automatic, unconscious, the way it should be. You feel yourself sinking, not in a frightening way, but in a way that feels natural, like your body is becoming heavier, like it's being held by something much larger than you, by the stone, by the earth, by the forest, by the quiet, by the darkness, by the gentle pull of sleep. And you don't resist, you don't hold on, you just let yourself sink deeper, heavier, more and more relaxed. The melody is a whisper now, barely there, just the low hum, just the gentle vibration, and even that is fading, not leaving, but becoming so soft that it's almost part of the silence, part of the stillness, part of the space where sleep lives. You don't fight it. You don't try to hold on. You just let yourself rest here in this clearing, in this forest, in this moment. The Lullaby Forest holds you, not with force, but with presence. It simply exists around you, and you exist within it, and that's enough. Your thoughts begin to drift, not racing, not spinning, just drifting, like clouds moving slowly across a calm sky. They come, they pass, and you watch them go. Without judgment, without effort, they're just thoughts, and they can drift, they can move on. They don't need you to hold them. They don't need you to solve them. They can just be and pass and fade into the quiet. The melody is almost gone now, just the faintest hum, a vibration you feel more than hear, and soon even that begins to fade into the quiet, into the stillness, into the space where sleep begins. You feel yourself letting go, gently, softly, like releasing a breath you didn't know you were holding, like uncurling fingers that have been clenched all day. It's not a dramatic release, not a sudden shift, just a gradual softening, a gentle fading from wakefulness into something quieter, something deeper. You're aware of the stone beneath you, but only barely. You're aware of the melody, but it's more of a feeling now than a sound, a gentle vibration, a presence. And you're aware of your own body, but it feels distant, as if you're floating just above it or sinking just beneath it, held in the space between, the space where rest lives, where sleep begins. Your thoughts slow, each one coming less frequently than the last, and the space between thoughts grows wider, softer. You're not asleep yet, but you're not quite awake either. You're somewhere in between, in that quiet place that has no name, that liminal space where the mind finally lets go, where the body finally softens completely, where rest becomes the only thing that matters. And even that doesn't matter, because you're here, and here is enough. The melody is barely there now, just a whisper of vibration, a memory of sound, and soon even that begins to fade, not leaving you, but becoming part of you, part of the quiet, part of the rest. You feel yourself drifting, not toward anything, not away from anything, just drifting, like a leaf on still water, moving so slowly it seems almost still itself, but moving nonetheless, gently, into the deep quiet, into the warm darkness, into sleep. The forest is quiet now, not empty, but quiet, and you are part of that quiet. Rest now, let the forest hold you, let the earth support you, let the melody fade into silence. You're safe here, you're held here, you can rest here. And so you do, gently, slowly, into the deep, quiet space of sleep. The Lullaby Forest will be here always, whenever you need to return. For now, rest, just rest, softly, quietly, into the night. Nothing more needs to happen. Nothing more needs to be said. Just rest. Just sleep. Gently, softly, and sleep isn't something to chase. It arrives in its own gentle way, when the body feels safe enough and the mind feels allowed to soften. So for now, the breath can stay slow, the room can stay quiet, and you can simply be here